And segue.
Yeah, that's a great segue for this
We
episode.
should have talked about that like a few minutes after.
What? Oh.
Anyway. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hi.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of
Be Uplifted.
Oh, I like that.
What is that butterfly thing happening? I
Oh,
like
no.
it.
Like, reminds me of Napoleon Dynamite. Is it Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What part? Why am I
Remember when he's doing the talent show?
Oh, yeah.
No, the talent show was when he was dancing. When they were doing the sign language.
There
thing.
you go. Yeah.
Wait, what?
You gotta watch
Some
it.
say love.
Oh, okay, I got it.
And then he's like,
Yeah, I got it. I have to watch the movie again. That's so funny. Okay.
That's so funny. So wait,
need
there's
another energy drink to put up with these
Wow,
girls.
there you go. You're going to need one for this one.
Yeah, you are. All right, you guys. So, with that being said, what are we talking about today, my fellow co-hosts?
Well, before we start, there was an incident recently that happened to you that you ran into a person at the club.
Oh, yeah. So I have to tell a fun story. This honestly,
Dang, she just comes up with all the stories.
my life is so exciting, guys. I'm just kidding.
Story
Do you
time with
hate that,
Ari.
Vince? Do you hate that?
So I was at,
My experience was different.
tell yours first.
So there was one time that I was delivering for Mikey's Meals, and if you wanted to get some Mikey's Meals and you're living in the San Diego area, you could use the code TheBabes10 to get up to 10% off, or is it
Nice.
10% off
10%.
on your first order? And so I was delivering, and I rang the doorbell, and the girl that answers the door, she's like, "Wait, you have a podcast?" I was like,
Oh,
"Yeah, I do." And then I was like, "Wait, why? Are you mad at me? Because I say some dumb shit."
yeah, he does.
You know, I was like, "Oh fuck, this girl thinks that I hate women." So I was like, "Yeah, I have one, or I'm on one." And she's all like, "Oh yeah, I watch you guys." And I was like, "Oh, thank God," because the way that she said it, I was like, "Oh God, all right, I'm safe."
Yeah.
So basically, your experience was a little bit more questionable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And I know who that is.
yeah,
Yeah. Shout out to the homegirl.
yeah.
nice. So my experience was really. It was really awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I was so happy for us as a unit. I was like, this is not real. So I was at one of the big 90s parties, or the 90s parties here in San Diego, Hickeys and Dry Humps. Shout out to them. Shout out to all the DJs. And my husband was guest DJing, and obviously I went to support him. And if you guys know this event, it's always super duper packed. Like people are like
Poppin'.
shoulder to shoulder. So it's hard to notice people because it's just like a sea of people,
Yeah, if
So
there's an opening this wide, that's the
You're
only opportunity
lucky.
you can walk past.
Exactly.
You're fucking lucky. Yeah.
So I'm walking through the crowd because we're heading to the bar, and I see this girl kind of peeking her head, and she's like, and then I see her face looking really excited. And because I'm not even thinking about the podcast, okay,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I must know this girl from somewhere. I don't have glasses on. Like,
How dare you not think of us already?
Yeah, no, I'm
You were
just
scared. You were scared, like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to remember her
yeah,
name.
no, I was really I don't want to be rude, So I'm trying to concentrate, and then all of a sudden she screams, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're Be Uplifted!" And I was like, "Yeah, right." I thought she was trolling me or something, and I was like, "Oh, do you know anyone?" She's like, "Oh no, I just watch you guys. I'm a big fan. I watch you." She said every day, but we obviously don't have a show every day, so maybe she meant
Cap.
every week or something, And she's like, "I'm such a big fan," and blah blah blah. And then she's like, "It's Ari, you guys," or to whoever she was turning in, "It's Ari," But it was honestly just a really cool experience that I wanted to tell them about, because shout out to that person, you made our night. I told the team the story. You made us all happy, so it was a really cool, humbling feeling.
Message us, because if you want, you could be on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And comment down below too, say what's up so we know exactly who you are, because we definitely
Yeah.
would want to give you guys a shout out.
Yeah, and just thank you for that affirmation, because we work hard on this podcast, and we do it out of passion and love, and to hear someone say something positive, or to see someone look that happy over our podcast, I was like, that's dope. That's super dope.
For someone we don't know too.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, I was really happy. It was very moving, and I was like, I could get used to this. Not in a cocky way, but in do people
that's
get shit out of our podcast? That's dope.
Listen, don't feel shy. It's hey, you're proud that you're affecting or you're entertaining people, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
But to be honest, even if we get like when and if we get that big, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go anywhere because I don't want people. Like,
yeah.
I don't want them to like fuck up my day-to-day life.
I was just so like proud of us, you know,
Yeah, no,
like I was so glad that you guys, that I could come and tell you guys the story. Like I was actually going to text them as soon as it happened. So they don't know this. As soon as it got done happening, I started in the group text, right? I was like, oh my God, you guys want to know what happened, you know? But I was like, no, I have to tell them in person because I wanted you guys to see like the facial expressions and like how it happened, you know, because you had to have the effect, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I was
You
like,
should take a picture with her.
I wanted to, but like I was telling them, it was so crowded. It was hard to do that, you know? And like I felt rushed because I was like following people to go get a shot.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was like, okay. And then I was also telling them like one of the girls behind me was actually Ackwright's friend. And she was just like, whoa, that was crazy. She was like, you have a podcast? And then she had said something really sweet, like, girl, that was your sign. You guys are doing something right. That was your
That's
sign.
hella cool.
Right? So
Well, I don't
shout out
drink,
to-
so if you see me in the club, I'll talk
You're
to you.
taking the pictures.
Yeah, I'll probably end up taking the picture.
I know, right? You're probably the
Yeah.
one taking pictures. That's true.
Yeah. So the lesson is that Ari thinks shots over fans.
Wow. That is not true. Do not quote that. That's not true.
But whoever you are,
Yeah.
I don't know. You didn't get her name, or you can
No,
remember.
I don't. I'm so sorry.
See how-
But whoever you
I'm
are,
a terrible
just
person.
comment down below.
Yeah.
Yeah, see how different it is for her experiences and mine. Me, I thought like, oh crap, this girl thinks I hate women.
Right.
So I was
Well,
like,
that which leads us.
Let's do that
Hello.
topic.
A lot of people think of that.
Yeah. So we were outside discussing that Vince has said some things, you know, and we've had some people literally DM us like, I want to argue with Vince, you know, like, and you've seen some of those people on the podcast already, you know. So we wanted to kind of give Vince an opportunity to I don't want to say defend himself because redeem himself or explain himself. Not that he really wanted to, but because we love Vince, we're like, no, you guys will know why we keep him around.
Because the studio.
Yeah, just no. He doesn't. Well, okay, I don't want to say you don't hate women. I'll let you speak for yourself. Why do you hate women, Vince?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun.
because they stupid.
End
No,
end episode.
see, this is the thing, and I don't even remember how we talked about this, but like, I don't hate women. I just think that they need to step their game up. You know, like this day and age, girls that are at least within my dating spectrum, which is very small, but you know, they get coddled so much, you know, because maybe they might be models, or you know, I live in a different world, so you know, and all of them think that they're 10s and stuff like that. It's like, no, you're not a 10. Stop giving yourself that much credit. You know, you want a guy that's this, and this, and it's like, that's cool. You can have that, but in reality, if you want like this top tier guy, are you a top tier girl to attract that and to keep that and maintain that? You know, versus a lot of the girls that I see nowadays, they're just so entitled.
So when you make these comments and these statements and these, like, we get these clips, you're saying that it doesn't come from a place of like women hate, but
No.
it's a place of speaking on their entitlement as women.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, maybe like I've said before, accountability is really big for me. You know, so if you want that dreamy guy that you want to be with, or guys, if you want that dreamy girl that you want to be with, because I'm talking to the guys too. It's just that guys can take it better than girls can, and I mean that. You have to be worth that. You know, like if you want this sexy girl, maybe you should be going to the gym too. You know, if you want this girl that has like nice things, or like she has this particular lifestyle and you want to be part of that, maybe you should make more money.
So you're talking, it just has to be leveled on both sides.
And same
basically.
same thing with the girls. If these girls want to get with this football player or something like that, maybe you should be going to the gym too. You know what I'm saying?
Can you give us an example of like how you've encountered someone that you feel like they should level up, like personally?
So I've talked to a girl recently, and we've gone to the gym a couple of times. But I enjoy working out. I'm not, not, I don't have a lot to show for it, but I still enjoy working out. And I do have a goal, but there have been times where, not only does she not take it as seriously as me, but she also, with her not taking it as serious, she doesn't respect the work and effort that I put in and the dedication that I have.
Like how? Like what does she do?
Like, okay, so I was supposed to hang out with her. Like we had an actual date, like a day that we were supposed to hang out.
Okay.
And she said, "Oh, can you pick me up from work?" I was like, "Well, after work, I'm gonna go to the gym." And she's like, I don't know why you can't just do that some other day." And I was like, "Okay, now you're getting into my lifestyle, or you're cutting into my priorities, But if she actually went to the gym as much as she made it seem, she would respect that. And then we could have gone together and she could have just done cardio or whatever it is that girls work out, like butt and legs, and I could have done my thing. But see, it was the fact that I felt a little bit disrespected because I had a priority that she didn't understand.
Maybe I'm definitely not defending her at all, but do you think maybe it's because like you planned to go on this date for so long that she was just like, fuck, like, can you like just make time for me this one time?
It doesn't matter. Because why, okay, first off, she knows my lifestyle. And the fact that she knows it and she didn't respect it just means that, okay, well, you don't get it, right? Mm-hmm. Second, just this one time is never just one time. That just opens the door.
Yeah.
Because the next time, I might say, well, I've already made that exception. It's like, well, you've done it before. Why can't you do it again?
That's true, yeah.
And then it's going to become more frequent. And then next
true.
thing you know, I change my life so that I can keep going out with her. And then she comes around at me and is like, oh, you've changed. It's like, bitch, you changed.
Why'd you gain weight? Oh, because you won't let me go to the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
You think like, so what would you prefer her approach would have been then?
Can I go with you?
That's the only option?
Or I'll just get ready while I'm waiting for you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
Because I mean, shit, if I did pick her up from work, I would still have to wait for her to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
go ahead. So I have a question. Okay, so you know how you like often joke on podcasts that you're a 4 at best, right?
Oh no, I'm not joking. I'm a 4 at best.
Okay, so
Like, but okay, let me clarify this too. I also think I'm a 10.
okay.
So, but my metric of measure is different. As far as like my accomplishments, my looks, and where I've gotten so far in life, I'm a 4. Because, like I'm not that good looking. I don't have that much money. Like there's so many people doing so much better than me. It's selfish of me to give myself anything more than a 4. As far as the other metric where I said I'm a 10, I'm not a 10. I'm maybe an 8, right? I measure that metric as in the things that I do in my daily life that I'm trying to improve on. Like when you look at my day, I'm working at least 2 jobs. And I'm also practicing the skills that I have, or at least trying to improve on them on a daily basis.
Right.
So I do go to the gym every day. I do work at least 2 jobs a day. I do, practice DJing. I do my photography all the time. So I'm always constantly improving.
Growing and improving.
I've opened and compartmentalized like different credit cards so that now I'm much more conscious about my spending. Mm-hmm. So the things that I can do about me being a 4, I think that I'm probably an 8,
Right. So with that scale, right, and you say that, if you bring something to the table, she has to be an equal. Would you be okay with settling with someone that's a 4, but in a 10 like you, if a female version?
Yeah, kind of. So like with that same idea, say like, how some girls could be like materialistic. Some guys can too, but let's, I'm using myself as an example. So I'm going to look at it as how I look at girls. So if a girl has a Louis Vuitton bag, right? Mm-hmm. But she bought it from the store and and she registered the warranty and everything. Did you know that Louis Vuitton, if you break your bag, you can get it fixed for free? That means a lot to me because that's responsible. But if there's a girl that wants to upkeep an image where she's buying a bunch of Louis Vuitton bags on OfferUp, secondhand, just because it's cheaper, but she wants to give that impression that she is worth that, to me, that's a red flag. You know what I'm saying? Or a girl, like, let's say if her earnings was a 4, but then the way that she budgets is a 10, oh, that's like definitely a green flag.
Well, what about looks? Because we've talked about that, guys, at the end of the day, the first thing and foremost is looks. So if you're calling yourself a 4, would you be willing to accept a 4 in looks yourself?
If she's a 10 in other areas.
Okay.
What about you, Claire?
That scale of 1 to 10 is never the same across the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So, but every girl seems to say they're a 10.
Right.
Right. But it's like, whenever you go to the doctor and then you're in pain, they ask you, well, how do you rate your pain from 1 to 10? Everybody's going to say 8, right?
Most people,
Right?
yeah, for
but,
sure.
But if I told you, oh, okay, so as a woman, that's a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is your pregnancy. Where does your pain rate? Oh, a 3. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I'm so if I'm looking at a girl or even myself, if I say, oh, I'm just a 4, but Brad Pitt is a 10, why would I put myself at a 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if let's say Megan Fox is a 10, there's no way that girl down, that's telling me she's a 10 is a 10 as well. So it's always that scale that I'm working on. Sometimes that's why there's that delusion that happens when every girl that you meet, and I'm saying just every girl, like they say, oh, I'm a 10. Well,
Right.
not really. No, you're not. Like
I am the table, like you always say, right?
like
we're only rating 2 10, right? 10 is the top.
like slow it down a little bit.
11, okay.
And that's just my thing. It's like, that's why when people say rate yourself from 1 to 10, I'm like the same as Vince, like 4, maybe 5 at the most.
Whenever somebody asks me that, I can never just pull a number.
I
out of
can't
my ass.
either. I really can't.
Like, it's so.
I feel gross.
Yeah, to me, like rating myself, I can't do it.
I really wish I could, though. If I'm going to be honest with you, like, I wish I had that confidence.
Yeah, same.
To be like, girl, I'm a 10, or like even an 8, right? Like I'm an 8, But I don't. That's why to me it's crazy that girls do that. That they're like, I'm a fucking 10, motherfucker. Like, it's cringy to me. Like, shout out for self love. Like, that's the thing though.
Hella.
Like I wish I had that.
Like, you can't. There's delusion in that too. Like and that's why maybe that's why a lot of people think that I hate girls. But it's like, no, I'm just holding up a mirror. If you don't want to listen to it, that's fine. If you don't want to take my advice, if you're only listening to the podcast because of what the girls are saying or what I don't say, or if you're just watching it so that you can hate me, then that's your prerogative. But seriously, like there's a lot of girls that have this delusion, and it's like, you don't have to change your mind, but you have to even the scale or have accountability. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally don't think that Vince hates women. It's just sometimes I think that whoever's listening, he mimics a lot of like what you listen to or what you see right now with that divide, between with
Red
the
pill, blue
Android
pill shit.
I do watch a lot of that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
So what he does is that he says it, but a lot of those guys will say the same things he does, but then right after that they take it to another level, like the idiotic level of it. You know what I'm saying? And I've said that before.
It is exaggerated.
Yeah, it's almost like, you as a man, you want to be head of household, control this, control that, and then okay, makes sense, perfect. And then the guys go, that's why you have to make sure that your wife knows you own her. Like,
no, I'm like, I don't know about that.
Then you kind of lose,
Yeah.
But that's because they're hearing the first part. They already made the assumptions that he's gonna run that same red pill, red pill bullshit that we hear all the time.
Yeah, and I understand that there's even though our values are the same, that doesn't make us like the same. Like when we're talking about equality and stuff like that. No, we can be completely different, but in that difference, we can still live harmoniously. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, like, yeah, we're not equal. The things that I like about Ari are the opposite of the things that I like about me. Like, she has big titties and they're gorgeous. I don't have titties. You know what I'm saying? You know,
You can
like,
admire my boobs. It's fine.
no, but yeah, it's okay to be opposite and still appreciate each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Ari, what are some traits of like women, just because we're on that topic, that you've encountered or that you've seen that you're just like, fuck, like you just can't stand either?
I'm trying to think because there's
Here,
a lot
I'll
of shit
make
that
it-
gets on my nerves. Hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll help you think about it. Think of all of the things that you've had on this podcast with me and Rich on it, where you're like, oh, I never thought of it that way. Damn, bitches are crazy.
I don't know. I see. Here's the thing: is like I'm a pretty emotional person, and I'm pretty emotionally intelligent. But I see things from both sides always. You know, I
Yeah.
always try to.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand where guys come from, and I think that's why I get along with guys because girls be getting on my fucking nerves sometimes. Like when
Yeah.
they say like when they're extra and entitled is a perfect word. Like whiny and entitled. Like, oh my god, like why didn't he do that? And it's like, well, what did you do? You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's that. Like the girls that are they're like looking for someone to solve their problems for them and they're like whiny about it. That's like definitely something that's like
Yeah.
like
I've-
stop.
I've driven to the club, you know, like with some of my homegirls, because you know, of course, if whether it's a guy or a girl, if you get an opportunity to do something that you like to do for free, you're gonna do it, right? So they wanted to go to the club with me because I was DJing and stuff. So I had 3 girls in my car. And oh my God, the conversation that I was hearing with these girls, oh, we're going to get so many free drinks and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to like.
Girls do be having that conversation.
You know, I'm like, damn, like you're just going to run game on these guys. That's fucked up. I should make you wait in line and pay.
You know what I do also hate now that I think about? I really don't like women hate, honestly. And I'm not just saying that to be like a pick me or be like, oh, you know, whatever. But you guys know that's why I created Be Uplifted was for that, right? Like I can't stand women that like waste their time heavy hating on another woman instead of just being like almost like, okay, like Bayon's beautiful, right? Like she's beautiful. She has her own business. I can definitely hear like a girl saying something like, ew, she thinks she's all that. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, no, she's fucking like, she's amazing. Or like, oh, Lonnie, like why you fucking always have a resting bitch face? Who the fuck do you know what I mean? It's like, I've had to tell her like, fix your face. That doesn't mean she's actually a bitch, but girls assume things about each other all the time, you know?
I can see I can see the caption, the thumbnail and the title. These two hate women
I know, right?
versus
No, okay, like to be honest too, like I was that bitch too. I was that bitch where I was mean as fuck to a lot of girls before, you know, and not until I got older that I realized like there's more to it than how they act. So like, you know, I'll definitely take the blame on that. That was definitely me. I was that girl who like, well,
I
fuck
would
this,
never
blah, blah,
have
blah, blah,
known
blah,
that
blah.
because I love her. So
But I was like that because I was immature, you know, I was immature and like, but really like also now the only way I could really hate somebody or like dislike somebody is how they act. Like I think you and I've had encounters like this too, where sometimes like girls be coming over and they're like loud as fuck, acting like they got no fucking manners and shit. And that's where I'm like, yo, you need to calm the fuck down.
that's definitely true. We had a party and we both
Yeah.
were like, this bitch about to get
This bitch about to get
fucked up.
Yes. You know, but like, no, I mean,
Yeah, I agree. I think it's more like when you get older, it's more about like who's disturbing your peace,
Yes.
right? Like more about that than just like the pettiness. But anyways, back to hating women.
I have a question. Because in the last podcast, I remember I told you about my epiphany and my whole thing about like I surrounded myself with possibly not the women that actually would elevate my life.
Dang, I'm sorry.
No,
like, fuck.
Like
Scoot over.
like in a dating sense.
Right.
Would you think that you're in that situation also? Because you said that you have a very specific, you're in this life, but yet almost every single time you meet somebody in this little squared life that you have or the circle, there's always they're most of the time, a high percentage, problematic.
Yeah, they are. I mean, but that's my fault for not vetting them correctly. But then also, it's hard for me to accept or to ponder that, just because a lot of the different things that I'm into, I also see both sides of it. You know, so like I've had like friends that strip, right? But then I've also had friends that strip, but then they're also like doing it for their family, you know, like they're married, or, you know, they're trying to get through school and stuff, and they're genuine people. But then of course there's also the hoes that are coke whores and shit like that. Like, yeah. So I see both sides on that. Same thing with this. I see models all the time, right? But I also see photographers too. And a lot of the photographers that come and rent the studio, I don't know why, they say that they feel comfortable here because, like, oh, you're not like other guys. I'm like, oh, okay, then date me. You know, but no, there's a lot of girls that are photographers that are just like, oh, it's so good to have you here, and I don't like, you know, whatever. But yeah, I see the photographer girls. Some of them are fine. They should be on the other side of the camera. And then I also see the models that are stuck up or just, you know, nice people and stuff like that. Same thing with clubs, you know, like when I DJ'd, I'd generally see like the go-go dancers and the bottle service girls that are very stuck up. But then I'd also see the hospital. No, but there's also door girls, you know, that are very hospitable. Yeah. And they're just genuinely nice. And I'm like, yeah. So it's hard for me to say that because of who I surround myself with. I'm just I'm not fishing in the right pool or whatever.
Right,
you know?
right.
Because first off, no fish can live in chlorine. But I don't know, because I see a very like mixed
Both
crowd.
sides, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But okay.
No, go ahead.
So I don't, my answer to that is I don't know. I haven't thought of it. You talked about that last week, so I haven't really.
Last week.
Yeah. And that episode hasn't come out yet. So I was like, oh, okay. Remind me of what we were talking about. Okay.
So I was also thinking, like, it does make sense. Like, I agree with your epiphany to a sense, but I also see this other side where it's like, of course you're going to pull from those pools, right? Because you want to know that this person can accept your lifestyle.
That's true.
So, you know, you're going to, maybe you're not necessarily going to date the stripper, but you're going to go with girls that will go to the strip club with you, and that's who you're surrounding yourself with. Yeah. So I think that's probably...
But that number is also really low, too.
Right, right, exactly. So,
But you know, as Vince was saying, like, yeah, I also see the good. That's why I've always said it. Like, I would have no problem. But it seems as though, like, I've put myself in a position where there's more of the not fitting than fitting.
I see.
Right? Because there's always going to be that. Yeah, there's always going to be that rare one where they're doing it for their family.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there's more of them that are just simply...
The ratio's just off.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah. So, I mean, that just did. I mean, it's like I'm, you know, I put myself in that situation because I do want to be able to have, you know, like I've said it before, like somebody that can hang out and like go to these places that I frequent. But quite honestly, if I do meet somebody that I actually am 100% attracted to, and we have a definite future together, or I see that we have a future together, and $2 steaks might be a problem. Well, $2 steaks might be a problem.
Respect.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what, like, for that one night you're gonna throw away
a really good thing.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and I respect that too, because like we actually have meetings there. It's not just for like what you guys think. It's also that. But no, we do have meetings there. We talk about the podcast. We talk about our future projects, and things that are going on. But if that becomes a problem, like, we'll work around that. Yeah. You know, like, it's not a deal breaker.
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, we can live harmoniously and still disagree.
Yeah.
So how would a female know? Because you said gym is non-negotiable, basically. But the strip club is
No. Gym is not non-negotiable. It's my dedication to my progress that's non-negotiable.
So I think it was more so, if I'm understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong. So it sounds like it's not necessarily what the thing is. It just happens to be the gym. It's the principle behind the matter. Like she didn't respect something that was important to you.
Yeah,
basically.
it could have been the same thing. Like if she says, "Can we go to watch a movie?" and it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, the studio's booked. I have to watch people."
Okay.
And it's like, "Oh, well, you're spending so much time at the studio," or such and such influencer is gonna be here. I'm gonna let them do the podcast here. And it's like, well, why are you spending so much time with him or her when you're not making money off of it? It's like, well, there's different things other than monetary value that are going to help our monetary,
Yeah.
If I was in that situation and I was dating somebody who is like you, right?
Yeah.
If I were to date you, I feel like my approach would be like, okay, so what times are you available? Give me like a week or 2 weeks, and then see where there's an opening.
But see, that also doesn't work with me too, because if I were to say, hey, you know what, I'm free Tuesday night after 7:00 because that's what time I get home from the gym. Well, what if on Monday somebody says, I'd like to book the studio for 3 hours? And it's like, okay.
Oh, that's yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's it. I'm not going to lie. Whoever
Damn,
is,
it's gonna be hard to date you.
yeah, whoever's going to be my girlfriend, I feel sorry for you, but then I'll do my best to make it up to you, Just understand that my intentions are genuine. Just like one of my best girlfriends thought that I was cheating on her, where, to be honest with you, I just wanted to take it to the next step. But it was hard for me to provide for her and her family because her brother was born disabled. He had Down syndrome and something else, but then he was basically bedridden. Like he was already 15 years old at the time where he moved in with us. So I put my name on an apartment. We got an apartment together. He moved in with us because her parents weren't able to take care of him the way that he needs to be taken care of. And it's like, okay, well, I already have my daughter. My daughter was still young at that time. Now I have technically a kind of a son, that can't do anything. And then I had my girlfriend that, I'll be honest with you, she couldn't really hold a job very well, right? So I was like thinking, okay, you know what? Like I want her to know that I'm in it. So let me start taking more gigs. Let me start taking more.
Being more of a provider.
Yeah. But then that turned into, why are you always out? Why are you doing these photo shoots with these models or whatever? And then she got very insecure, and I'm like, yo, like
This is for you.
and I can't tell her that I'm saving for a ring. You know what I mean? So I was like, it just sucks. It put me in a bad place, and then she ended up, going elsewhere. So I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
that hella sucks. But
that's
yeah, again, like with the lifestyle that I have and the way that I provide, it's hard to be my girlfriend.
So if let's say that was your homegirl, right, Ari, that he was dating, what advice would you give her? I'm trying to put myself in that position where I was her homegirl if I was your girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
For sure, I would have to understand that you're trying to find ways to bring more income in, right?
No, but you're putting it in the perspective that me, right. And you're looking at it through the podcast eyes. If this was really your homegirl, you'd probably be like, oh, he's probably cheating. Fuck that guy. Go through his phone when he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That motherfucker
Or
never
most
home.
girls would be doing
That's
that.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I guess my point though before that was that how would I determine whether it's the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah, let me squeeze you.
You know what I mean?
I mean, at that point, it's just trial and error. I mean, you don't really know until you know.
I think at that point she would really have to just take a step back and ask herself okay, he's not home, but what is he providing when he is here? Do I feel joyful? Do I see that he's working his ass off and then he takes me out to eat on his only day off? I think you have to be with someone that's mature enough to see it from that bigger scope and not just you're gone all the time.
Yeah. And maybe like you guys have asked and I've said yeah, I'm a 4, but maybe I should big myself up a little bit more, because there was a lot of times that I was just like, look, I'm going to do this because it's the right thing to do, not because I want to get that, that those kudos or whatever. Because there's been so many, there's been so many times that I've known that things, like I'm not home a lot. So when I was at my day job, I'll come home during my lunch. Instead of eating lunch, I'll clean the kitchen, make the bed, throw the laundry in, you know,
See,
and
he
then just
doesn't
come
hate
back.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I'll do that because I don't want her to come home to all this mess that we made together. Now, if I have the ability to fix it, then I'll do it. But yeah, like I've done it so many times where I don't look for recognition. Maybe it goes unnoticed, but I don't know. Does that mean should I be a little bit more like, yo, I did this? I'm not that type of person.
No, again, I think that, you know, there's this saying that, you know, perception, what is it? Perception is the truth or whatever?
Perception is reality.
Yeah,
basically.
perception is reality. Well, perception is reality until you actually contradict it, or unless you actually say something about it. So a lot of times, if we went through a whole season of podcast and Vince was just spouting the red pill shit, perception is reality.
That's what they're gonna see.
Right.
That's true.
So and then people are always gonna make their comments or their judgment on it.
It's okay. He hates women. I'm a hoe. It's totally fine.
And apparently you guys don't understand anything I say.
Yeah. You have a small Vienna sausage. That's what we know.
That's the truth, by the way. That's why I'm a 4.
I don't believe it.
And I'm just here.
No, Lonnie's the one that reels all of us in. Okay?
Welcome back.
Yeah.
No, I just think that again, that's why, you know, when we talked, I think that a lot of times I didn't want that perception always on Vince. That's why whenever I said, you know, let's have that meeting, I kind of was like, hey, let's broaden the subject, because it does get tiresome.
Yeah.
And it gets repetitive, and I don't want Vince to always be seen as somebody that's quote unquote misogynistic.
But that's so much
hater.
funner. Just kidding.
It is until you're the guy that has to edit it all the time.
I know,
You know,
I
then
know,
you're hearing it like every single time.
And then the girl that you met at Hickey's, you might have had completely different
I know,
reaction.
right?
Like, I want to know what she thinks about Vince.
Yeah, she probably
I
throw
should
a
have.
drink.
That should be the interview question on every person I meet. So, what do you think about Vince?
I mean, she asked where the rest of us was, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Maybe she was just making sure I wasn't there. You know, just like that asshole isn't here, is he?
no, it just that the whole divide in the country. I mean, it triggers so many people, and I think that anytime you actually teeter, or people sense that you're towing this line, they're obviously going to react.
Right.
And quite honestly, we like
don't
it
give
when
a fuck,
we like it when you react.
Yeah.
It's entertaining for us. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question then, only because, like, what other platform would you ever say something like this, right? So, and answer it genuinely. Don't make it a joke, okay? So for women out there.
Like I should have put that.
Yeah, I'm like, answer it seriously. So, okay, so there.
Yes, Mom.
Maybe there is or is not a stigma that you two are misogynistic or hate women. But to change that, like right now, what is something that you can say that you think that women like bring value to people's lives? Like, what's something positive you can say about women?
Why is your face like you really have to think hard?
I do have to think hard.
No, I have to think
Like, you
hard
know,
too,
like-
but I can actually answer this.
Like, what is
Nothing.
it? What?
Nothing, because we get our joy by being the saddest, the one that brings you joy. Like if I say I don't want anything for Christmas, I genuinely mean I don't want anything for Christmas. What I want is to make sure that what I give you makes you happy. Your happiness is the gift back to me. I don't care what you bring to the table.
No, what about, like, you know, okay, this is definitely something like only women would say, but I'm giving you an opportunity to say something nice so I can clip it. Okay, guys? No, just kidding. And then they go, wow, that was deep, you know? Like how people are like, you know, well, women, they bring life. No other being can do that, and that's what's special about them. Or
Well,
women bring emotion, you know, like, what is there something that you actually can go, you know what, this is why I am looking for a wife, because women bring this, you know? Like, maybe you're not looking for a wife.
No, but see the original, or like towards the beginning when I was talking about like the girl understanding and stuff like that, you know, it's the ability to provide the happiness harmoniously. You know, she just trusts me to do the right thing, you know, and then she doesn't become like and was it What is the rich dad poor dad thing? There's assets and there's
Liabilities.
liabilities. As long as she's not a liability, and that's why I was talking about like the Louis Vuitton purse. You know, if she's just trying to uphold like keeping up with the Joneses like thing, that's just gonna make my life harder. Versus if she buys one expensive purse, but that one expensive purse is going to have a lifetime warranty on it, that's cool. I only have to buy one. You know, if she's going to accept the fact that I make mediocre money, but then she knows how to budget, that's cool. Versus I'd rather have a girl that can budget and that respects money as opposed to me being rich as fuck and then she's just like
blowing it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So simply being put, like for you, a good woman brings value by making your life more harmonious and peaceful and joyful and things like that.
Understand, I want to make you happy. Make it easy for me to do that. That's it.
Right.
Okay.
And that's basically the same. It's like I just want a woman that will make my life easier, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
But that's not the question. What woman do you want? The question is, what do you think is special about women?
Their ability to nurture.
Tits. Okay.
Tits.
See, so there's an honest answer.
No, I mean it's so.
Oh no, take that back. He didn't mean nah. He meant that shit.
I did mean that.
He meant that shit. Yeah.
But I'm saying
An extension.
an extension. That's just like repeat your question again.
Like, I think you might have even answered this before. Like, you said that you like that women can bring out like an emotional side of you, you know, that you'd never do with your homeboys or whatever, you know, like you said that in one of the episodes before. So something like that. Like, what is it about a woman that makes her special? Like, not what are you looking
Like
for in a
women
woman?
in general?
Yeah, like women in general. Like, oh, like women are special because they are the people that bring life to the earth, you know?
That's not every woman though. So I'm searching for the one that can provide certain things to make my life easier. Like you can't use a broad brush and broad stroke to
I'm talking about not like dating, like women, like what makes your mother special? What makes a sister special? What is it about women? Yeah, what makes a daughter? What is it about the women race that makes them special?
Gender.
I'm giving you an opportunity to say something nice about women, so people go, "Oh, that's nice."
No.
Not in relation to dating, you know. Do you get my question?
Yeah,
No.
I do. But
Yeah.
then I also understand why he can't answer it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you can't answer that because of the fact of like there's just so many different types of women.
So like if I could say, oh, I love women because they're loving, they're nurturing, but that's not every woman.
Yeah. And
See, you know what I'm saying?
And men can be loving and nurturing too.
Well, that's why I
Yeah.
specified it to women, because there are certain things that women can do that men cannot, and vice versa.
Yeah, like I can come home and let's say I was a warrior and then she comes home and patches my wounds. That's not every woman.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying though.
Go to the doctor, babe. I can't do
I'll
that
do it
shit.
myself.
Yeah.
That was it, right?
Yeah, but you know, you see what I mean? Like I'm looking for somebody that can make my life easier, but that's not every woman.
Let me ask you this. It'll probably.
I get it, but then I also understand like what you're trying to get.
I know what you're trying to get, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like if I said it, that's not every woman.
Let me ask you this, Ari.
He
Same-
wants
same-
the truth. That's his truthful
Same
answer.
same thing with a
Yeah.
man. Like you'll say you want a man that will be the pillar of the household, strong, protector. That's not every man either.
Yeah, that's true. But if you were to picture a good man, this is what makes the man special. You know what
All
I
right.
mean?
I'm having a hard time answering this too, kind of. So to jumpstart it, can you answer it? What would you look for in a lesbian partner?
No, I'm not. It's not what I'm looking for. Like if
No,
I
but I'm
was
asking you-
to say
no.
like if I was to answer my own question, I would literally say like what I just said. Like I think it's really beautiful that women can bring life into the world.
Yeah, I would say the same thing too.
Because men can't do that, and it's really cool that you can grow a human in your body and watch this human grow. Like that's only something women can do, and it's a beautiful thing. That would be my answer.
And other than that, what else is there?
That's why I'm asking you guys. Like, do you find anything in women like that is like, oh, that's a really beautiful thing? Like, you know, women tend to bring out softness, but you're right. Not every woman is like that,
Right.
but that is a very feminine trait. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
But aside from anything that childbearing,
she's like, "Fuck, just give me something to clip." Shit.
no,
thanks, Lonnie. You get me.
no. Aside
No,
from,
it's okay. It's
Aside
okay.
from
This is real right
aside
here.
from anything childbearing, we're all pretty much. That's where is it? What separates us?
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking
No,
you
no.
because that's the answer then.
No, what separates us is the ability to bear a child. But then I can't say that that's what makes women special, because they can
hold on,
all
what?
do that. So that doesn't make that woman special.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean,
Necessarily.
the gender of a woman.
Here we go.
No, that
We're gonna go down that road. Oh, man.
Okay, so
Okay, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
no, generally the woman gender bears the child, right? So that
No,
makes
the women's sex.
the woman's sex. Okay, whatever. So the woman the sex,
Here we go.
yeah, the sex, that's what makes them
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
But the fact that they can all do that doesn't mean that any of them are special, because they can all do it. So yeah, women are special, but a particular woman isn't special because she can do that.
Right. I didn't say a particular woman. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's cool that women can do that because men cannot.
It sounds like the only thing that's cool about us is that we can do that.
Right. Yeah. That's what it's sounding like.
Yeah. Oh, that's our answers.
All right. I tried, girls.
I-
I really tried. You
I
saw
give it to
how
you.
hard I tried. I was like trying.
Listen,
I was like
Okay.
in my head trying to think of how because I get it, try to word it too, but then let's be real, no one can fucking understand what I say sometimes too.
Well, don't say it then.
Huh?
Then word it.
No, I don't know how to word it. That's
She
my
just
the
said
thing.
that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So I tried, but here to their defense, they're really trying to answer
Yeah.
the question.
No. I think that when you guys say that you can do it, I think it's both because you're actually speaking for yourself, not for all the other women. So if you're sitting there and you go, I have these traits, and I provide that to my partner or my husband, that's what makes me special.
Like, I think it's
But that
really
doesn't-
special that birds can fly.
Not
know what
all
I mean?
birds can fly. Ostriches can't fly.
Neither can penguins.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm not talking about a specific. Like, I'm just like generally speaking. Like, it's really generally speaking.
this
fish
is why-
can swim.
Okay, here.
You know what I mean?
You want
Like,
a clippable moment?
No, I don't want to.
I love supple breasts, nice booty, a cute face.
This is why I'm having
And
a
a thin
hard-
with hey. No, just
Look, this is why I'm having a hard time answering this question, is because like you're asking something about women that we should cherish or what we think makes them special. The fact that they bear children, that makes them more important than us. I believe that I should protect all women more than like men, because men can do it on their own. But the thing is that going into this conversation, there's also a lot of like talk about dating and attraction. So when you generalize all women, I'm not going to be attracted to the general public. Does that make sense? Or
I know, but that's the thing. You guys keep relating it to like this attraction thing, and I wasn't.
Yeah, because I
talking
don't
about
want
attraction.
I don't want to date all women. I just want to find one that's going to put up with my shit.
but that's what she's saying. She doesn't want it to be based off of dating. She just wants it based
I was
off
just
of
like the gender maybe. That's like, you know, when I think
Yeah.
of a woman, I think of my mom. You know, like why though? What
Okay,
made
let's
that-
be,
what
like,
made-
it sounds like we
doesn't
need to be like super specific, right?
Okay.
So like for example, okay, let's pick your daughter.
Okay, my daughter.
What's your favorite thing about your daughter?
She loves K-pop. No,
Sorry. I can't. I tried.
We try.
I tried.
It's okay.
no. What's the
It's
favorite
okay.
thing about my daughter? I think my daughter is resilient. I think she has a level head. I think that she's a free thinker.
Okay, your mom.
My mom has gone through a lot of adversity and has worked her way in and out of, bad relationships, bad situations that she was put in. And she was able to persevere as a disabled single mom.
That's awesome. Okay, me and Ari. I'm just kidding.
And go. No, I don't want to hear mine. It's gonna
No,
be,
I'm just.
it's gonna be
I'm totally
me.
joking. I'm totally joking.
Titties.
So, okay. So, for example, with your answers, right? You called both your mom like a strong person because of all the shit she's been through, and then your daughter resilient, right? So, even though not every woman is necessarily resilient, you could easily go, one of the things I think is beautiful about women is like I've known some pretty strong women in my life. So, I think some of them are pretty resilient, and I think that's cool. Like, that would have been a cool answer, Like, it doesn't need to be all. I'm just asking, like, generally
like,
speaking.
Things that you've experienced.
Right, that you've experienced.
Yeah.
Like, these are some things that have found beautiful in women, like not like in dating, that was kind of my question.
We had to like break it down.
Yeah. Good job by asking the mom thing and then the daughter thing. That was, now he's thinking.
Okay. We're trying to do positivity, okay? We're all about uplifting.
Right. just fucking work with me sometimes, guys. Goddamn.
I answered your question.
No, you did. Okay, Vince, your turn. What's your favorite thing about your daughter?
She's perfect.
So that doesn't work because no one's ever going to meet up to that, which they
That's
shouldn't
true.
because your daughter is perfect. But
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, she's like she's beautiful. She's understanding. She's funny. She knows like actual like 90s references.
She's literally, dude, she's so beautiful.
no,
I have
she's
to- she's so
like
beautiful.
he's not just gassing her up. She really is that amazing.
She's smart. She's independent.
Side note, like when I haven't seen you interact with your daughter in a really long time. So when she came to the studio that one time,
It was so cute, right?
the way you were talking, you're like, "Oh, honey." So I'm like, "That's so cute. I've never seen you do that before." So it was really cool to see that side of you.
Oh yeah, protect her at all costs.
Okay,
Yeah.
so who's the next important woman in your life? Your mom.
My mom, yeah.
Okay, so what's your favorite thing about your mom?
Just her
Or what makes her
understanding.
so special?
It's just her understanding, and her putting people before her needs, like her unselfish ways.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes, like just her, I'd have to say my favorite thing about my mom is her blunt cluelessness.
So she's like you?
She doesn't know.
In a good way.
Like she doesn't know when she's talking shit, but when she's talking shit, it's so fucking nice.
It's so nice.
It's so
I feel like
hilarious.
that's where the connect is with you and
I
your
know,
mom, from
right?
what it sounds like. That's awesome. How would you summarize that for Vince then?
Are you like the interpreter?
No, you want to know what's fucked up? I'm gonna tell you
The
something
Vince
funny.
and Rich whisperer.
No, not just. I have literally been called the whisperer because for some reason, maybe that's why I do a podcast. Like,
No, legit.
literally, people have told me this multiple times that I'm like the whisperer because you'll say something and they don't get it, and then I'll translate it, and they're like, "Oh," and I'll go, "Isn't that what you're saying?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah," or like people will be like, "You tell your mom." Because blah blah blah, and I'll say it in English just like they would have said it, but they're like, but the way you say it makes it make more sense. Or like my kids will say something to like classmates or their teachers, and they'll misunderstand, and then I'll translate it. So I don't know what that is. I think that's a skill of mine to be able to like.
second
Maybe.
that. I second that so much because whenever I'm trying to like ask something, I look at Ari and she knows exactly what the fuck I'm saying.
Thank you, God. I mean, I love that I have that gift because I feel like I understand people better because of that. Like people are like arguing, and I'm like, no, this is what they mean, guys. And they're like, oh, okay. So I'm grateful for
Yeah,
that gift.
you may have to redo this whole episode by yourself because I think at the conclusion of this is that I still hate women. Yeah, I think that's what the conclusion was. I was like, wait, no, it's not.
This
true.
whole
Okay, so for example, so we're not talking about like toxic women, bad women, your experience with bad women, but like for good women that like say you think about your mom or like your daughter, would you say that like nurturing is a trait that's really beautiful in women, the right women?
Wait, you're asking him?
No, I'm asking both of you.
Oh, okay, yeah, me, yeah, that's that yeah.
So that would be one.
What
See?
she said.
So like nurturing, women, beautiful, good women can be nurturing, and that's beautiful because my mom took care of me, my daughter takes care of me, things like that. Does that make sense? Now, does it click a little bit, guys?
Yeah, I think what you do is that you just take everything that I said, and then you cut off but not every woman is like that. part.
That's true.
That's all it is, right?
He's all, feel how it feels to edit.
If that's really what you want, it's like I say, I come home and she makes my life easier. Click. Then
I know.
Then
You
then-
act like I don't fucking do all the clips anyways on the fucking reel. So I got you. I'm gonna make you look
Yeah.
like
So
an
Rich, there you go.
amazing ass.
Commercial right there.
I know.
Right.
I'm gonna make both of you like a Tinder fucking profile like
No,
skit.
let's not do that again, please. That was so hard.
Well, I know, right?
That shit was so hard.
See, it's not easy.
wow, we have to
I know.
we have to revisit that.
Is it,
We have
is
to
it
do
my
it
turn?
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
Is
turn.
it my turn?
And then
Great.
we actually have to follow through with like dating one of the
you-
ones.
Yeah.
Can
Well-
you make mine honest as fuck? Just be like, look, I have no time for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I'm
Actually,
not gonna fuck
it's-
around with all these
yeah.
bitches and tell them some bullshit.
No,
Straight
it's.
up.
I'm telling you, that shit was fucking super hard. We'll go over it again, and it's just like you can be as fucking what educated and coherent and
Good on paper
good
shit.
on paper
Yeah.
shit, send perfect messages and crickets.
No, I believe it. That shit
No,
was
it's
hard.
true. Yeah.
That shit was so hard.
You guys finally saw it.
Yeah,
It's like,
no,
fuck.
really. It was really crazy. We're like, oh, dang.
Yeah, I
Girls have
remember.
options. Y'all have crickets.
I remember one of the first episodes that we were doing, or at least like during our first season, where you guys were like, "Oh, let's role play," and then you're gonna try to approach me at a bar, and I was just like, "Oh, cool, whatever." And then you're like, "Wow, girls are really like that."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Now you guys see firsthand, girls are really like that.
Yeah. It's crazy. Okay, so Vince, do you want to leave the
Closing.
the listeners with any closing thoughts about if you do or do not hate women and why you do or do not?
Clear the DMs.
Clear the DMs.
So we can like put red on all of fucking single ones that say Vince this, Vince da 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 da, Vince da 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 da.
I don't hate anyone. I just hate everyone. But I'm down to help you fix that.
Wow.
No, it's
Everyone's like, I'm still,
Yeah,
I don't feel any different.
No, I just, like it sounds like I hate you or I don't appreciate women or whatever, but it's like, it's accountability. And I just want, I'm here to give a different perspective. So at least we can be understood. And if you want to put in the effort, that's cool. If you don't, then it is what it is. I'm not going to fix everybody, but I do, the people that I hold in the highest regard is women, are women. Is that right? Did I say that right?
They.
And to be fair, Lonnie and me wouldn't work with someone that was actually a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Well, you didn't know.
that's true. No,
It's like, oh shit, we have no other studio to go to.
I don't like when you guys joke about that because that's not all it's for.
Back to the kitchen. I mean, literally.
Hey.
How are you going to tell people start anywhere and then constantly berate me for where I started on
Because
this
you already passed that.
Yeah, and then you hold in my face that you're the reason why I'm past that. You guys suck. All right, so you don't hate women. You hold them in high regards as long as they are deserving of it.
Yeah, that's one of the things is that I know that women have been like born with their value, but men have to earn it, and sometimes women forget that not only are they born with it, but sometimes they have to maintain it, and sometimes they give themselves a little bit more value than they really need. Like
Yeah.
it, and all I'm doing is I'm not saying you're a piece of shit. I'm just holding up a mirror, and that's all. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I love it. But again, the people that I think are the most precious in life are all of them to me are women.
That's a good way to say it.
I like that.
Yeah. I just think that women have been coddled for so fucking long.
Yeah.
And they're like it's like a delusional, like almost like you have to be the princess. Like everybody wants to grow up to be the princess. I fucking get it, right? Because my daughter always was the princess. But then when reality sets in, and then you mention the fact that not everybody's a fucking princess,
Right.
Then you're quote unquote misogynistic or you're a woman hater because you just brought up the actual truth.
Okay, I have a question real quick before we close. So, like, for example, like, say you found something wrong in your significant other, right? And you say that they don't ever want to be, they always want to be the princess. They don't want to be told no or that they're wrong, et cetera, et cetera. Say you told this person or your significant other, wife, girlfriend, whatever, that they were wrong or that they were doing something wrong. And they accepted it, they were open to learning, but they were just requesting that you say it in a different way. Like, say she was like, well, can you not be so mean about how you say it? Because a lot of times it's like in the delivery, would you be willing to compromise that? Like, okay, so she's still taking the constructive criticism. She's just asking me to do it in her way. Is that okay?
No.
Or are you guys like,
No.
no, you're going to need it?
No, because I don't need a paragraph to tell you something in a sentence. And sometimes when you want to be direct, it's easy. It's easier to just tell them exactly what they're doing wrong instead of beating around the bush. And half a paragraph later, there's confusion as to what exactly you were trying to say.
I think you're being a little bit too literal. I think what I meant was like, there's a difference between a guy being like, "Shut the fuck up, you're being stupid," then I disagree with you.
Oh no. So yeah, obviously you don't want to be like, "Shut the fuck up, bitch."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, hey, just
Because I have heard men say that, like, no, if you're wrong, you're fucking wrong, and I'm like, you're right. They should fucking accept they're wrong, but there's a difference if they're saying in the delivery.
Yeah,
yes.
no,
Okay.
I'll 100% agree with that.
Okay.
But I'm the type of person that will never kind of get to that point of the disrespect as far as like, correcting somebody or telling somebody that they're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, bitch, you fucking wrong. You know, I would never say it that way.
But a lot do. That's why I think it's important to
Well,
point that
it's
out.
also situational too.
Right.
Like if somebody, like if I'm okay, this will never happen. But if she's driving and she misses a turn, I'm not gonna be like, bitch, you missed the turn. I'll just be like, oh, babe, we gotta make a U-turn because it was back there.
Yeah.
But there's also those times where it's like, yeah, because the girl would never drive my car.
No, I'm just never mind. Go ahead, keep going.
But there's also a time, like, let's say if she's at if we're at a restaurant and then she calls the waitress something like bitch, how hard is it to refill my water? I'll look at her, I'll look at my girl and I'll be like, why you gotta be a bitch?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah, so it is situational. But then, like we have to understand that there's like timing and different environments that it applies.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Why are you laughing?
I mean, if I wanted to be super blunt, I could be like super blunt. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think you can be like, hey, you're being stupid. Like if they're being stupid, then that's what it is, right? But there's people that are like, man, you're hella fucking dumb. Like like you always do this shit, you dumbass motherfucker. Like there's a difference. Like I've seen girls in very abusive relation. I know that sounds extreme, but like where it's like okay, that's very verbally abusive, and I'm like, why are you with that guy? He talks to you like that? Like that's crazy, And she's like, oh, he's just being direct. I'm like, yeah, but Ackright tells me I'm dumb sometimes. I tell him he's dumb sometimes, but we don't disrespect each other. You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
dumb. That's how I was saying,
like you're stupid, things like that. But it's not like, okay, I think you're a dumbass motherfucker. Like,
I mean, if I met somebody and she was in the military, he would probably be talking that way. You dumb motherfucker.
but when it's playful and it's like banter, banister. So
Agree.
No, but no, you're right though. I mean, you do have to. Again, sometimes a lot of these questions it's hard for me to relate because it starts off like on the opposite end of what I would normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And a lot of my questions come from like things I've heard and experiences that I've heard about or seen
Right.
or personally have been through. So that's why I'm like, oh, let me hear another person's perspective on it, because
Yeah.
I'm just one person listening to someone's story.
Right, like when you said they tell it to me in a different way, and I'm like, but I'm already sending it in a calm way.
Right, in your head, it was calm. Yeah, that makes sense.
In my head, I'm like, that's the dumbest thing you could possibly have ever done. Then you know what I'm saying? I'm like, but I'm not like, you're such a fucking stupid bitch for even
your
doing
brain
that.
didn't even go there.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. What do you mean? Like,
You forget people can be like that.
Yeah.
huh?
You forget people are like that, which is why your brain doesn't even go there because that's not you.
Yeah. I mean, like, I wouldn't. That's why I was saying, like, if I had to explain it, like, I have to like now go around the softer
So you
side
thought
of
I
fear.
meant like totally sugarcoating and being like coddling, as you said.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
don't.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Literally, when you're like going from a paragraph to a sentence, like, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, you shouldn't need the whole fucking paragraph to be nice. You know what I mean? Like,
Stop beating around the bush.
Right.
Yes.
That would almost piss me off more if you beat around the bush for so long. Or like, just get to the point.
Well, babe, there's this thing that you're doing. Remember when you were at the restaurant?
When you do the, hey.
Because you said Urkel earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, so Vince doesn't hate women. He holds them in high regards. And we haven't found an actual answer to why they think women are special.
Because they give birth.
I know, I'm just kidding.
But you know which woman's special? You.
See how
Hopefully I am talking to a woman right now, but if this is a man, just disregard the way that we're talking.
Well, he identifies as that monitor.
Yeah.
You're special too.
Maybe. All right, guys. Well, I think that was a good conclusion.
It was. And outside Vince was like, well, that's going to end quick. And we were like an hour and 4 minutes into
See?
this.
Are we?
Yeah.
Damn.
You had a lot of explaining to do,
Yeah,
Vince, and I
right.
really tried to make you look good. You
You know,
got to give
I
it to
don't-
me.
I don't.
The Vince redemption episode.
Right.
I was just going to say that.
I don't think I'm that bad.
But people might think you are, so we had
Sometimes
to
you
give
do.
you some
Fuck
redemption.
them.
Sometimes you do come off a little harsh, but we also have to remember, like, you're not intentions to hurt somebody. It's just how
It's
you
never
come off.
that. Yeah, we
I'm
can definitely
curious.
say that.
Is there anything that I've said or done that comes to mind that somebody might have commented on, or that you guys think?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be 100% honest. There's people like, hey, I don't think Vince ever understands fucking women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because a lot of times you do say it for shock value.
Yeah.
Or it's a clip, so people don't even realize there's so much more content around what you were
Right.
saying, or context. I mean,
But that's what I'm saying though. Is like because of this red pill, blue pill shit. Like I totally I'm on board with what you say, but a lot of times people think
That's it.
That's it, yeah.
you're on that side.
No.
Because you never get to like the sneakos and all this other bullshit creators that
Yeah.
that kind of go off the deep end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think because you start off in that same area,
People
people
think-
make an assumption
Right.
that you're already there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you're the same as them.
Right.
Yeah. Like I try to be nice. Like I don't call them bitches because hoes got feelings too.
All right. With that being said, I think it's time to call it.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Shout out to Mikey for the bomb meals. If you guys are in the San Diego area, make sure you guys hit him up. Use our code TheBabes10 for 10% off your order. Also, if you're looking for a studio,
The Pixel Lounge ST.
is where it's at.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And if you need someone to do the editing and algorithmic shit and all that,
He's
good
like, I
stuff.
have no more time.
If you need somebody to make the menu for your OnlyFans, that guy.
Oh yeah.
And also, if you meet Ari in a club and you're single, so is Vince.
I probably won't
So
even
is
know.
he.
Just be like upfront. Just be like,
Be
yo, I'm
uplifting.
hitting on you.
I know he won't know otherwise. You definitely have to tell him.
Still not convinced.
I know, right?
All right, guys. Go.
That could be your shirt for the podcast.
Still not convinced.
Not convinced.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that's actually cute.
No, there was one of my friends that was working with me at the camera store. He was all like, "Dude, I love watching you pitch to people." I was like, "Oh yeah, it's just the art of convincing." He's like, "Oh, that's good," and I was like, it clicked for me. I was like, "Oh, I should spell it that way."
Wow.
Because it's a con by Vince.
Yep.
See?
All right, guys. Before we start ranting on, thank you guys so much again for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Bye.